The Short Take with Alex and Jake.
Hello and welcome to The Short Take, the podcast where we talk about all things short films, apart from when we don't. I'm your host Jake, and with me, as ever, is my co-host Alex.
Hiya.
How are you doing this week?
I'm good. I'm better. Better than last episode.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, still hot?
Very hot.
Yeah.
But I'm delirious at this stage.
Yes.
It's been hot for so long that I'm done.
I think I'm more sweat than human now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're like watermelons.
We are like watermelons.
More like water than anything else.
Yes, not the melon bit really.
Oh, speak for yourself.
Have
sticky.
Have you just come off filming Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 3? Yeah. So this week we're looking at a film that I picked called Toast.
Mm-hmm.
It's a short film that's about 13 minutes long.
Yeah.
This synopsis, before we get into the
Go
rest
on.
of the film. After a young man agrees to help a reclusive elderly neighbour with their grocery shopping through lockdown, they form an unlikely friendship that changes them both.
I mean,
So,
are they neighbours?
yeah, I think we'll get into that.
Yeah.
So, we're going to do the same thing as last week. We're going to do the good, the bad, and the nitpicks, because I think we kind of liked it. But we'll see, yeah. Do you want to kick us off with some good?
Yeah.
One good thing.
A single good
thing.
Fuck, I have to pick. I think I really liked the soul of the film, if that makes sense. I think
Yes,
the heart of
yeah,
it's
yeah,
really
yeah.
nice.
It's a tried and true story, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think the middle of the film is really strong when he's like going back and forth, getting him all the stuff.
Yeah.
Some of the jokes are genuinely quite funny. It's really competently shot, which
Yeah.
is kind of a backhanded compliment. But like, nothing amazed me in it. But it's well shot. Like there was no point I think where I was like, oh, why'd they use that shot?
Yeah.
But there was no point where I was like, wow, look at that shot. Do you know what I'm saying?
Just like middle of the road.
Yeah, but
kind of,
like it's
yeah.
well shot, which is not easy to do.
Yeah.
Especially with like a 13-minute film. I thought the outfit designs were pretty fun.
Okay,
Like the
yeah.
costuming for the characters told a lot without saying anything.
Mm-hmm.
Soundtrack's good. Like you got a little like bit of music in it.
I might pick up on that
Oh,
in
interesting.
another section.
No, I enjoyed it. I liked it. And it also didn't feel like 13 minutes, which I think is worth saying.
Yeah. It
kind
does
of
fly
breezes
by.
which is nice. And when you have a long film, that's what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not to nitpick, but that was more than one thing.
Well, I said it in one continuous sentence.
No stops.
Stops.
No. So I agree. I think that the heart of it is really good. It's a really simple but effective story.
Yeah.
You know, it's Gran Torino. It's
She ends just like Gran Torino.
yeah, exactly the same. There's another one, but I just can't remember what it is. Do you know what I mean? Like I know that there's more like that.
St. Vincent with Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Nobody's seen that, I don't think, but it's a good film for like the same thing.
I feel like there's some like Groundhog Day. He's kind of miserable, but it's not the same.
Not the same. You want like grumpy old
It's
man, like who meets
There
young
is one though,
person.
isn't there?
Loads.
Is it? What's the one that he does where he's like Jack Nicholson's miserable and then he goes on a road trip?
Oh, As Good as It Gets.
As Good as It Gets.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
similar.
So it just works in that way. I think I'll probably have some bad bits about that as well, but I think on the whole it works. I think you just about get the. Well, I mean, it's very unclear if he dies at the end, isn't it? But I think the idea is he dies from smoking stuff.
I think he doesn't die.
No.
The fact that he goes to the hospital and like they say like because he's talking about like I want to get him his stuff.
Yeah, his dressing
Like,
gown.
Yeah, his dressing gown. So like he's not dead. Like I'm pretty sure they would have definitively had him just be dead. But I think the idea is he's ill probably because of the fact he smoked, hence him not smoking and drinking the organic milk.
Yeah, because I've watched it 3 times. So I watched it yesterday with Tess, and her only comment was, "Is this an advert for Ring doorbells?" Which was very funny.
Very good.
Then the second time I watched it, I was like, I think that's probably been pushing into bad. So I won't talk about it just yet. But I was trying to pick up on why things were happening. I was like, okay, I think it's a smoking thing because he comments on that, and then he, goes to hospital and then he chucks the cigarettes away. I'm like, okay, it's probably that. So I think that it vaguely works, but it took a bit of me watching it again to fully
Really
grasp that. I think it was really competently edited. I think that was really, really good.
Yeah.
I think the montage especially was really
Very
well
well
edited.
100% agree.
Like it felt so fun. I'm not 100% sure about like having the note faded in the background, but it was fine.
Yeah, it's alright. It didn't bother me.
No, but like the beats of the edit on it were really, really good.
Don't know how I feel about the bit where he like I'll get into it nitpicking.
Okay, yeah, sure. What else do I have on my list? Oh, I really like the alarm. I know it's such a small detail, but I really like the alarm.
Where it's like, you need to wake up.
Yeah, and it's like, it's a great day.
Yeah, that was fun.
That's really funny.
I really like the bit where he gets out of bed the second time and he does the weird stretch where he's just
and he just like a wiggle.
He just lifts his arms and wiggles a bit.
Yeah.
Like that. It's like, yeah, I feel that.
So he is called Harry, isn't he?
Yes.
The person, Harry Walters.
He wrote it as well.
He wrote it.
Yeah.
He labelled himself as an up and coming actor. I think he's pretty good.
Yeah, he's decent.
The other guy, Roger Sloman, he is from EastEnders and Inside Number 9.
Oh, really? I don't know
apparently.
either of them. I don't think I've seen him in either of those.
No, I mean, I've not watched all of Inside Number 9, so maybe I
There
missed
is a
it.
lot of Inside Number 9
There
I've
is.
missed, and I love that show.
Yeah, it's very good. I thought he was pretty good. I thought he was...
He's decent. I think some of his first lines I didn't love.
Yeah, I think I want to come on to that in the bad for a different reason. He was pretty good though. Yeah. He was sold it.
Yeah,
reasonably.
100%. I think their dynamic worked.
Yeah.
And I think the actors had a decent rapport.
Yes, I agree. Which I think can be hard to do, especially on something like a short film when you're like, you're working together for such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
You can't necessarily build up that friendship, but I think they did pretty well with that.
Yeah, no.
I don't know if this is really good. I probably should have top-ended it with this, but the budget was apparently around £1,250.
That's impressive then.
Which is, pretty good. And like for a named actor who's been in stuff, like, they probably didn't pay him that much. No. Anything else you want to put in good?
No, I think I want to get onto the nitpicky and the bad stuff.
Yeah, to end the kind of good section, I think I did like it.
Oh, 100%.
Overall, I really
didn't
liked
dislike
the
the
film
at all.
I just think there's a lot of bad and nitpick stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
So, do you want to start with the bad?
Okay, yeah, I mean, like I said just now, I think the first thing I noticed when I was watching it was the acting's not great.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, let me go back on that. I don't think it's that the acting's not good. I think the actors are both capable and pretty decent. I think the issue is the writing. I think a lot of the dialogue is pretty inauthentic.
And stunted.
I think it's a lot of people saying stuff because they need to say stuff, not saying
no
it.
subtext.
At least the way they would say it.
Yeah.
And I think that is holding it back a bit.
I think the best interaction potentially is when he's talking about the squishies.
Yeah, it's decent, though I do think it veers into this territory of being a bit...
on the nose.
Yeah, and just a bit, like, soppy, for the lack of a better word.
Okay.
Like, it's a bit just like... And I know that we were just saying, I do like the heart of the film and stuff and the soul of it, but, like, I do feel like that kind of veers into being, like... Imagine, like, in real life actually doing that.
Yeah.
There are ways to do it where... I can imagine somebody doing what he did, but then to say it the way he says it, I think is weird.
Okay, yeah.
I think if he was just like, oh, I put squishies in there, and then I kind of went to leave immediately after saying that, and he's like, what? He's like, oh... They're sweets?
I think it's one of those things where you're just doing something and then immediately explaining it.
Yeah.
And
which is weird.
It is weird. And I think the best way of doing that kind of thing, because the story has a really good structure where you have a time for setting stuff up, a time when they're sitting in the garden, cultivating this friendship, and then the ending. Yeah. Right. And the idea is you set stuff up in the first bit when he doesn't like you very much. And you say the stuff. And then when you're having the nice bit in the garden, then you start to explain some of these things and it falls together and they start to like each other. Yeah. Just saying that thing at the start, it doesn't give anything to the story. No. It doesn't change the old man's mind, although it does come back later that he does actually like the squishies. But the story about his mum doesn't make a difference at all. Yeah. I think that's possibly I think it's what you're saying anyway. Yeah. But that's the issue. It's
a subtext thing, like you said earlier.
Yeah.
It's just people don't say what they mean.
No.
People say stuff and there's meaning behind what they're saying.
Yeah.
So therefore you need to find a way for the characters to talk in an authentic way where they're actually saying what they should be saying. But we, as the audience, can tell there's more going on.
Yeah, 100%. And I think the moment when they're in the garden and he takes the squishy out and eats one, would be such a good opportunity for him to be like, oh, that's what my mum used to buy for me. I don't know, I really miss her or whatever. Yeah. You put something like that in it and then...
If you want to do that, do it.
Yeah, exactly. And the old man can be like, oh, that's relatable, This kid is actually a human being instead of
that's
just
relatable, yes. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree with you there. This is really mean, but the lady who was the ambulance driver who had one line, it was delivered so badly, I think.
That's interesting. I didn't really clock it being that bad.
There was just this weird pause that she did after she was like, can you please step back? okay, I'm going to take him to the hospital now.
I do see what you mean.
And I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
it's...
just watch any show with an ambulance person in it and be like, okay, I'll just do that.
Curious if she's maybe like just a friend, like someone they know.
Possibly,
someone's
yeah.
mum.
Because it's obvious, like, did you pick up immediately that it was in lockdown?
Not immediately. It took me a minute because at first, because I have family members and stuff who do like a thing where they go to like elderly people's houses,
Okay.
and then like look after them essentially or do stuff for them.
Yeah.
And so for a second, I was like, okay, I assume it's that.
Right.
And then when he was wearing the mask the second time, I was like, okay, it's lockdown.
Okay.
Which like
I
yeah.
picked up on it immediately because when he wakes up, the date comes up and it says May 20th,
I didn't spot
2020.
that at all for some reason.
It like writes it on the screen, and I'm like, okay, that's lockdown. That's peak lockdown.
Peak lockdown.
And I was like, yeah, fine. And then I was kind of like, I don't know if this is a consideration for films. I don't know if this is important, particularly for this type of film.
Yeah.
But for me right now, I got that.
Yeah.
In 20 years' time, I don't think people will.
Yeah, it's really interesting when you think about the like how lockdown has changed a lot of media and like seeing it in the future and stuff.
Yeah.
I know there's been stuff that like has come out recently that I remember seeing interviews where they were like, yeah, we just decided like not to even broach it and just exist in a world where it never happened.
Yeah.
And I think that's fascinating that because it does give it lasting power, I think, over stuff that's taking place during lockdown, specifically like, oh yeah, it's lockdown.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
I think the only real equivalent in the film world is like the war, isn't it? Really, like there are films that take place that don't mention the war.
Yeah.
But they all exist in a world where the wars took place.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Whereas we're in a weird bubble at the moment where a lot of films are happening and they're not even acknowledging that the pandemic happened, which is really interesting.
It is.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. But yeah, it took me until the bit where he's wearing the mask.
Okay, yeah, no, fair enough.
And then it made it weird that he wasn't the first time.
Yeah, interesting.
Which I thought was odd.
So, kind of latching onto that little bit, I think the ADR was not great.
Okay, I don't think I clocked that either. I don't think there was any moment where I was like noticing the audio quality.
I got over it as I got into the film, but the very first time when he opens the door and he's just like, "What did I tell you about knocking?" I'm like, "Oh, that sounds like it's recorded in a studio."
That's interesting. I didn't clock that.
I don't think there's a wild track, or it's a very quiet wild track, and it's not present enough.
Yeah.
For me to be like, okay, this is believable audio. It felt like it was filmed in recorded in a studio and dubbed over. As the film goes on, I got over it. You know, you just forget about it. But I've watched it 3 times now, and every time I'm like, oh, that doesn't sound quite
Maybe
right.
that's why I don't like the first line. Maybe it's more that than it is anything else. That's fascinating. Interesting. I definitely didn't clock the audio issues in general. Yeah, it's really interesting. I think there's, again, with the narrative stuff, and I think, have you got anything bad you still want to talk about? Because I think I'm, again, veering from bad to nitpicking. I'm, like, kind of in the middle on this.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
what
do
you want to
have...
talk about?
How many things do I have? I have 3 more things that I want to mention. I don't think they're nitpicky. The final shot of him drinking the milk felt
awful.
So weird.
So weird.
Like,
hated it.
Why did you do that
It's
tilting thing? The tilt and the zoom.
Do you know what it reminded me of?
What?
The Homelander and the boys. Immediately, just like, I swear, like, I've seen that exact shot. Like,
yeah. Yeah.
Like, it was just like,
way less creepy.
Yeah, way less creepy, but still
Anthony
it's
Starr
weird.
uses his tongue a lot more.
Blah, blah, blah.
It wasn't creepy, it was just out of place.
Yeah.
It obviously
he's
was
addicted, like he's like crack. He's like, oh.
It was obviously trying to portray that he had learned something from this old man, right? He chucks the cigarettes away and then he has the organic milk and it's like, oh, he's trying to change his lifestyle to be healthier and stuff. And it's like, I just don't think it lands very well. It feels so odd, especially because from our perspective, obviously I'm guessing this character knows, but from our perspective, we don't know what happened to the man.
Yeah.
He could have just died. This guy is dead. But he could have just died and he's just like knocking back a thing of milk.
Well, the milk's gonna go off by the time he gets home.
But it feels weird and out of place.
Yeah.
The waking up in the bed is very cliche.
Yeah.
However, it does give us 2 moments that we both really liked, which was, well, you didn't even notice it, but the writing to tell us that it's in lockdown without saying it, and the little wiggle he does.
I love the little wiggle.
Yeah, but it is very cliche for him to keep it waking up in bed.
Yeah, a little bit.
And then the last thing, which is maybe verging into nitpicks, because I didn't hate it, but the music is, when it was doing the montage, that's heist music. That's not like...
I can't really remember it, to be honest with you, off the top of my head.
It was very like, you know, like sleazing through a casino, like checking out the cameras kind of music.
Yeah.
it was that it didn't necessarily fit for
the tone
for me.
And like what's happening. No, I feel that. That's interesting.
But it wasn't awful.
No.
It wasn't like completely wrong.
No.
It was just like not quite what
that's weird
it
choice.
needed.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So it's kind of nitpicky, but yeah.
That's interesting. I have two nitpicks. One's just a nitpick, and one is, I think, verging on bad for me.
Mm-hmm.
To come back to the kind of what you're talking about with the ending and like him learning something and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think for me, I was really hoping it was going to do something, just because of how cliched it was being.
Yeah.
Which was, I really hoped that when he was ringing the doorbell and trying to like, he's like, oh my god, is he okay? And doing all this stuff. I really wanted it to be that the old man was okay and that he would just be there next to him or something and be like, what are you doing? He's like, oh my god. He's like, I thought you were dead. I was like, that would have been such a good gag. It would have like really hit, I think, and got a good laugh.
Yeah.
And I think I feel like the arc then should have been like the idea of them giving a shit about each other.
Yeah.
More so than anything else. Like,
yeah.
I'm kind of okay with like the thing of at the end him like deciding not to smoke or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I think there'd be something kind of cool about like, I don't know, just them like, oh, we care about each other.
I think I do agree with that. And I think that something that the film didn't really touch on, and so it's unclear whether this could have been a direction that they go down. But like, obviously the old man is being brought his groceries by this kid, and it's in COVID. So like, is the thing that he's just old, or is it that he's like immunosuppressant and he can't go outside? Because you could have it be almost like, he mentions that his wife is dead. It could be that he's just given up on life, and the COVID thing has essentially put the nail in the coffin. He's not going outside anymore. And this kid could be like, I'm happy to keep going to get you groceries or whatever. Yeah. But you could go for a walk. Like, you can go outside. And that moment could really work. Like, he could be coming back, and like, you're showing in one beat two character changes. Yeah. That the kid really, really cares about this old man.
And the old man's actually gone out.
He's gone out, and he's like,
he could be carrying his own shopping.
Yeah.
It could be kind of funny.
Or just like carrying something that kids missed.
Yeah.
Like, that he keeps missing something, and he's just like,
he's gone to get himself.
Yeah,
That'd be kind of funny. Yeah, I think there's a lot more interesting ways to go than this weird dramatic thing of him going to hospital, which I think is, again, a bit too cliched for me. I'm just like, I've seen it. Like,
it's been done.
Yeah. Something I just remembered as well that we said to talk about, I guess it actually does fall into nitpicking more than bad stuff. Them being neighbours.
Yeah.
They're not neighbours.
They're definitely not neighbours.
What? He lives in like a block of flats that he has to walk pretty far from, it seems, to get to this guy's house. How do they know each other? What's the deal?
I think that is more a nitpick with just the synopsis, though, than with the actual
film. But then
film.
the actual credits of the film say, like, elderly neighbour, young neighbour.
Okay, yeah.
I took note of it because I was like, they're not neighbours.
No.
Like, in my head.
There was also when he goes back to his own flat at the very end, there's no transition, like, shot of the building. So you don't know he's in a different place.
No, you never see his building.
No.
I don't know. It's very odd.
It makes it slightly unclear that he's in his own flat and not just in the old man's house.
Yeah.
I think you need that.
It would have been kind of cool to have an end bit of him going around the old man's house.
Yeah.
And you like think of like seeing people's
lives.
But
then I quite like the idea that he doesn't ever go in the house.
Yeah.
Because it's a COVID
But then
thing.
we see he does.
What?
At the very end when the old man's gone.
I think that's his house. I think that's the young guy's house.
No. We don't see inside the house.
Yeah.
But we see the young guy coming out of the old guy's house. When the
of course.
There. So we know he's gone in and been around
Sorry,
there.
Yeah.
That's what I mean, though. Like, after the hospital woman's gone, to just like then walk around his empty house.
Yeah.
And then just see all this stuff, and it's like, oh wow, look, this is that guy. I think maybe there needs to be a bit more of a properly antagonistic relationship between the two of them for it to pay off at the end.
Yeah.
I think he's a bit too willingly like, I want to help you. For it to work personally for me in some way, because the old man doesn't have an arc particularly.
No,
like he does come around to him and it's like, oh, same for next Thursday or whatever.
Yeah,
but like really, we're not following the old man. We're following the young guy, and the young guy doesn't have an arc. Yeah, he decides to stop smoking, I guess, but like we don't see him smoking before that really, except that one bit where he pulls that cigarette. There's a bit where he has a cigarette behind his ear, but like we don't see him smoking it.
No,
so I think the film gets a bit muddled in who needs to be developed as a character. It needs to either follow the old man and just have the kid turn up every day, or it needs to follow the kid and have and give him a proper arc.
Yes.
I think that maybe that falls into bad more than it does nitpicking, because I think that is like fundamentally what is wrong with the film.
Yes. I agree with that.
But again, it's not badly made. It's not a story.
No.
It's just not a super strong story. The other nitpicky thing, just remembering, tiny nitpicky thing. In the montage, there's a bit where he keeps ringing on the doorbell, and then like he's not answering, and it's just him like kind of laying on the grass and like doing all this stuff. And like, why is it okay then, but then the other time?
No, I think that was a montage of like different.
He's always
days.
wearing the same clothes. Because I thought the same thing. I was like, is this meant to be just all the different days? But he's wearing the same clothes every time. I think
the other. One of my nitpicks falls into this category as well. There's one of those shots where it's snowing.
Yeah, where it's like, brrr, right? It's like really weird.
And it's snowing.
Yeah.
And at the start of the film, it clarifies that we're in May. And then later on, when they're sitting outside in the little pub thing, the old man says, "You've really helped these last few weeks."
That's so funny. I didn't even clock that.
Honestly, I was just like, what? Like... Hey. It snowed.
Global warming.
I don't remember it snowing in lockdown. That's such a small and stupid thing, and you like generally wouldn't pick up on it.
It did snow in lockdown.
Did it?
I vividly remember playing Mario Kart online around the time it was snowing, and we only played that during lockdown.
Was that only in first lockdown?
But somebody else. Maybe.
Yeah, but one of the lockdowns was January, February, March, and that was 2021.
Hey, maybe the old man is kind of throwing some shade. Maybe he's saying, up until these last few weeks, you've been shit. But these last few weeks, you've been great. And it's been like a year.
A positive nitpick, how the fuck did they get an ambulance?
Yeah, I was thinking that earlier. Like, I guess if you only need it for one shot, and so you're essentially hiring it for like an hour.
Yeah.
And because obviously they have places you can go to that you hire these things.
Yeah, yeah.
It can't be super expensive.
Probably what most of the budget went into.
Yeah, what did you say it was 1,000?
250.
250.
I reckon it was a couple of hundred to do that.
You could probably film this in a couple of days, right?
Yeah, easily.
You could get all of the old man stuff in like a day, an up bit, I think.
Yeah.
And then everything else with the younger guy, because he's one of the writers and you're not paying him.
No,
I
assume not.
You can film all that stuff like over however long.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You have time to grab all those shots with him. So therefore, really, the only things contingent on anything, it seems, are the older actor and the ambulance.
Yeah.
And with that stuff, that's where the budget's going. Yeah. That's really interesting to think about.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I saw it and I was like, I'm just impressed that they managed to get that.
Very impressive.
What else have I got? Oh, when the opening scene when it says the actors' names and stuff, and then he walks past and it like disappears behind him. I love that stuff.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I don't like it's called Toast.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird name,
because
isn't
at first I just assumed it was about toast.
Yeah.
Somehow. Then
I thought toast would be on the list.
Yeah, which is funny because like...
Why would you put toast on the list?
It's really funny though, now I think about it. That's like... He gets in bread and he's like, I said toast. He's like, what? That could be really good. No, but then when he makes a toast, doesn't he? Later on, which is why it's called toast. But then like that's such an insignificant moment in my head in the film.
Well, to me...
The only reason I took note of it was because of the fact the film's called Toast.
And then I was immediately like, okay, he's going to die.
Oh, see, I didn't think that at all. No.
Because it's
up until... Okay, not in that moment. Straight after that, when he goes to the house. The fact it continued after that, I was like, oh, something's going to happen to the old man.
No, I was like, as soon as they said, he was like, let's raise a toast to playing darts and the thing, I was like, that's the name of the film. This is a pivotal moment. The old man's going to... Like, something's going to go wrong.
That's it.
Yeah.
He gets a dart through the eye.
I was like, that's just not happening because he's going to die or something.
That's really interesting. When it kind of faded to like black, or I think it went to the night sky technically, and I was like, oh cool, that's like a nice ending. And then it cut to the blue sky for the next day, and I was like, oh, something happens to the old man. Yeah. Because why else would the film continue? They're not going to go to the pub. That's really interesting. I think the opening title card is impressive. Don't like it.
Okay.
Feels out of place. I think in the same way the milk shot does.
I think...
There's a few shots like that, actually, where it does weird shit.
I see what they were doing with it, because it's like the list, it's the writing stuff, but the list isn't like a significant enough part of the film for it to be the theme of like the credits and stuff.
Yeah. They do some stuff where they do like punch-ins, but like I think they're digital, and I think they can work in films and stuff. I think just the tone of the film doesn't lend itself to the stuff they're doing sometimes. Okay. They do it a few times throughout. Yeah, it's the same with the tilt of the camera with the milk drink. The way it's filmed. Man. It's like there is a version of this where like that you can do that shot and it'd be cool, but again, in the tone of this film, it doesn't fit. Yeah. And I think that happens quite a lot. Which does,
yeah. I think I have two more nitpicks actually. When they're doing the montage of him trying to get the old man's attention, knocking the door. Like the second one.
Yeah.
He opens the letterbox, but he doesn't shout through it.
I feel the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Then
why?
we don't know the old man's name.
Yeah.
He's like,
But
he goes to say, he's like, oh, I don't know.
But you could just be like, hey, like,
Hello?
I'm here, kind of thing. I just felt weird
You're
that he
right.
didn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then my other one, which is so niche, is when he's setting up the pub thing, he puts the packet of crisps out and he takes one and eats it. And you hear the like munching noise. And then in the very next shot, he's got his mask up and he's like wearing his mask fully and he's like not chewing or anything.
Interesting. Just continuity error.
Yeah, like just a very slight thing. Because like, you know, you could easily be like, hey, it's like 30 seconds later and he's like finished and he's put his mask up or whatever. But I was just like, that's such a weird transition, like thing to put in and not transition it.
I think it comes down more to, I found this with editing and stuff, with recent stuff. You do have to sometimes just make a decision of what's more important here. That he's wearing the mask right in the background or that the performance is the best version
and again,
of it.
it's such a niche nitpick.
Yeah.
Like, I completely understand that it's a nitpick. It just annoyed me.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I don't think I've got anything else. I think that is it.
I'm good.
I feel like we have a very long list of nitpicks and bad, don't we?
Yeah, but like again, it all comes under stuff where it's like easily improvable stuff. And I think at the end of the day, we should commend the fact that he made this.
I really like
for
it.
a decent budget as well. And again, the pacing of it's really good. For like a 13-minute film, the fact that neither of us, our complaint is too long is impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's really solid. And I think kind of, again, I've said this before, but kind of like Prom Dress.
Yeah.
Yes.
You got it right.
Thank God. Prom Dress, which I'll never get wrong again. I'm never in the future going to mention that film and get the title wrong ever again.
What's it called, Alex?
Prom Dress.
Prom Dress.
Yeah, and no,
not the
there's
laundromat.
not going to be a single future episode where I ever call it anything but Prom Dress. So help me God. It's the same thing as that, where it's like there are technical issues. There's little things that it's like, oh yeah, that could be better. Like you should do that. But like either way, you made a film, and like that's always impressive.
Yeah.
And like again, to get so many things right, and while there is a list of things that we're like, oh, that's stupid. Why do they do that? That's a problem. God, make that better. The director probably has sat and had all of that in their own head. Just like, why the fuck did I do that?
Yeah.
Why didn't I get this? Ah, fuck. Like, or maybe somebody doesn't, and like that helps, like to know, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I'm really impressed by the film in general.
I really like it. Yeah. I think it's very good. If it was lockdown, and there was a thing to sign up, and you had to take food around to people's houses, and you saw this film on the list of names, would you take food to this film?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel
you
bad
keep it
for
alive through
Yeah,
all the lockdown.
yeah. It's worth keeping alive, I guess. Wait, I guess, hang on. I'm taking time out of my day to do this.
You are, yeah. This is a commitment.
But it's lockdown.
It is.
There's nothing else to do.
Apart
It's
from
an
play
excuse to
Animal
go
Crossing
out.
and Mario Kart.
Yeah, what a time to be alive.
I know.
Watch Dogs Legion.
Good God. Oh, you must have been so bored.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Yeah, I will do it.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to do.
No,
What
very
about
true.
you?
Yeah, I think I probably would.
Yeah?
Yeah, I like this
Can I
film.
pose an alternate version of the
Yeah,
question?
sure.
If you're an old man in lockdown, you're immunocompromised, you can't go out and do anything, and this film turned up every day on your doorstep offering you food, would you form a strong bond with it? Or would you keep your distance?
I think I'd keep my distance for the first couple of months, and then we'd have a really strong bonding moment.
Yeah.
And we'd become best friends.
Okay, cool. I would just reject him outwardly the entire time.
I think I'd think he's a bit cliche.
In real life, if I was an old man and somebody was doing all this stuff for me and I was like kind of, okay, please get it right, you keep getting it wrong.
Yeah.
And then they come back and they're like, I got you sweets. I'd be like, thanks. I'm not paying for them. But you bought these. They're like, yeah. And then they make a little pub outside my house. They're like, I thought you could use it. I'd be like, go away. What are you doing? I don't want a friend.
You're
If I
going to be
wanted a
such a
friend,
cynical old
I
man.
would have asked you to be my friend. Go away, you sad little boy. Where are your friends? What are you doing? Where do you have a job?
God, it's getting too personal, I think. Oh, you're going to be a miserable old man.
Oh, I'm so ready. I'm so excited.
All right, should we wrap it? Oh, no.
How dare you? I'm going to ask you some questions that you don't get
forgot about
right.
this.
I'm very... Okay, so what's your track record on these so far?
2.
You've got 2 right out of 3.
We've done... This is episode 6. So
Yeah.
I've done 2 of these already. I'm 2 out of 6.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not I'm not good at this.
Interesting.
I'm very good. So me and Alex I feel like you still go to the quiz.
I haven't been in a long time.
No, we used to go to a film quiz, and we were on separate teams, and it was always a thing to see who could get more right. And Alex does tend to always beat me, but there's a couple.
Every now and then
I get one way faster than you.
And it must be satisfying.
It's very satisfying. Did I get the Goonies faster than you?
I think you did. It took me a while to get the Goonies. I think somebody else on my table got it.
Oh yeah,
because I was just sat there and I was like, why am I blanking? And someone's like, Goonies.
So yeah, Alex tends to be better at these than me. I do know that.
Who am I?
Oh God.
I was born in 1974 in Italy to American parents. We returned to the US, and whilst at school, I trained as a dancer. After graduating from high school, I worked as a dancer at Boulder's Diner Theatre.
Is that it?
No, I'm joking. Imagine. I went on to make my feature film debut in Drop Dead Gorgeous before eventually appearing in Catch Me If You Can. I went on to receive Oscar nominations for my performances in Junebug, Doubt, The Fighter, The Master, and American Hustle.
Oh damn.
That's a really difficult one.
I feel like I do definitely
you
know
who it is.
Yeah,
but
I think I'm going to really struggle to actually get that.
Okay, next one is Thursday Timeline, whatever that means.
What?
Which classic 1957 film starred William Holden as the character Commander Shears, Alec Guinness as Lieutenant Colonel Nicholson, and Jack Hawkins as Major Warden?
I think I'm alright with that one.
Yeah, I think you should be. Friday Fun, from which film? What came first, the music or the misery? People worry about kids playing with guns or watching violent videos. That some sort of culture of violence will take them over. Nobody worries about kids listening to literally thousands of songs about heartbreak, rejection, pain, misery, and loss. Did I listen to pop music because I was miserable, or was I miserable because I listened to pop music?
Is that a quote?
Yes.
Fucking hell. Question 1. An Italian-American actress.
Born in Italy to American parents.
Doesn't say the gender anyway, does it?
No. Born in 1974.
I feel like it's a woman.
They worked as a dancer at Boulder's Dinner Theatre, film debut in Drop Dead Gorgeous, appearing in Catch Me If You Can, and then went on to receive Oscar nominations for their performances in Junebug, Doubt, The Fighter, The Master, and American Hustle.
I'm going to be so pissed off that I don't get this. I know I'm not going to get it. Catch Me If You Can. I don't remember. Like, obviously, Leo and Tom.
They appear in Catch Me If You Can. They are not a starring role in it, I would argue.
I feel like it's the airline, the air hostess woman. I feel like that's the character, but I just don't remember who plays her. And then The Master is the only other one that I'm like, I've not even seen it.
Have you not seen American Hustle?
No, I don't think so. Which one is that one?
I don't want to tell you. It's the one with it's David O. Russell's film.
I can't even think of any like Italian people.
They're not Italian. I'll give you that as a hint. Yeah. They were born in Italy to American parents.
Oh, and then
they are American. Okay. Like, they are like not in any way Italian, as far as I'm aware, other than growing up in Italy, maybe.
Yeah. Kate Winslet.
Amy Adams.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
No, actually, I don't think I would have got that.
American Hustle's the one with
Oh, it's
Bradley
when
Cooper,
Jennifer
Lawrence,
Amy
Adams. Yeah.
Yeah, is she the wife?
She is. No, she's not. Jennifer Lawrence is. Okay. Amy Adams is part of the kind of crew of. Con people, essentially.
Well, classic. Jake got another one wrong.
Next question.
Yeah.
Do you remember it?
No.
Which classic 1957 film starred
The Hunt for Red October.
No.
What?
No.
30,000 Leagues?
The Bridge on the River Kwai.
Oh.
I thought for a hot second it was Ice Cold Alexandria.
Oh.
Because it's Alec Guinness, but...
Yeah.
Nope. And the last one. Hear the quote again?
Oh, something about pop songs.
What came first, the music or the misery? People worry about kids playing with guns.
Is that all of the quote?
This is all a quote.
What came first?
No, this entire thing is a quote. All of this. What came first, the music or the misery? People worry about kids playing with guns or watching violent videos. That some sort of culture of violence will take them over. Nobody worries about kids listening to literally thousands of songs about heartbreak, rejection, pain, misery, and loss. Did I listen to pop music because I was miserable, or was I miserable because I listened to pop music? Here's what I'll do. I'll give you a point if you can guess the film, and I'll give you an extra point if you guess the character afterwards.
Oh, Jesus
or the actor,
Christ.
anyway.
I don't think I'm going to get this. A Star is Born.
You think Star is Born?
Well, no, but I'm just going to say it.
What character do you think said it?
Probably Lady Gaga character. No, yeah, Lady Gaga character. I don't remember who.
Okay. It's not.
No.
It's High Fidelity.
Okay, yeah, no.
It was said by John Cusack's character.
I do vaguely remember the quote, but I've not actually seen the film, so...
Was that zero?
That was zero,
for free?
yeah.
Wow. Let's do some true or false quick. Pumbaa in The Lion King was the first character to fart in a Disney feature.
Yeah, true.
It's true.
Nice.
Bruce Lee used to train to the Mission Impossible theme.
False.
True.
I feel like Bruce Lee would have trained before Mission Impossible came out.
So Mission Impossible, the films are based on an old TV show called
Oh,
Mission
of course they
Impossible.
are, aren't they? Yeah.
Mila Kunis' family moved to the USA after a family won the lottery in the Ukraine.
True.
It's true.
Yeah. That's too niche to not be
Yeah.
true. Well, that was pretty rough, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Do you want to hightail us out of here? No, you can't read that. That's your question.
I know the answer to it. Yeah, so, guys, please like and subscribe. Every time you like and subscribe, which means even if you're already subscribed, if you click unsubscribe and then resubscribe, every time you click the like and subscribe buttons, Jake grows an extra toe. Right now.
I've not got many.
He's not got many. We need all the toes we can get. Okay.
We've got something big planned.
We've got some really big plans. And if we could just get to, like, I don't know, 100 toes, you wouldn't believe it. Like,
Yeah.
what we've got planned. What should the comment be? Because obviously we've got all the currency ones now that we've gone through. Read through all those great comments.
What's your favourite topping on a piece of toast? And what's a film that has that in the title?
Oh, very nice.
Or someone that just says it in a film.
No,
Is that too easy? Okay.
Should be in the title.
Or one of the actors' names
Yeah.
in the film is that condiment or spread.
How many people have the names of condiments?
Jam. Space Jam.
Yeah,
Done
that's
it.
the title of the film.
You can't
not
have
the character.
You can't have Space Jam.
You can't have Space Jam. That's a
Sorry.
take, Jake's taken that one for it. Yeah.
That's the first time I've actually thought of an answer to one of these comments.
Okay. Well, until next week, you won't hear us unless you go back and listen to previous episodes, which I highly recommend.
Yeah.
There's some good ones. Episode 14 of last series. Mwah. Don't remember what it is. Probably has bad audio quality.
Yeah, probably.
But until then, you won't hear us. Unless you do. But we'll see you. Bye.
Bye.